Here's something nobody tells you: most of the time you get ghosted after a great interview, the company still wants you. You just went silent at exactly the wrong moment. You nailed the interview. They leaned in, they laughed at your joke, they said the magic words, "We'll be in touch." And then, nothing. A day. A week. 90 days of pure silence. Your brain fills that silence with one story: I bombed. They hated me. I'm not good enough. But that story is almost always wrong. Ghosting isn't rejection. It's a decoding problem. And once you learn to read what silence actually means, you can flip it back into a callback with a single message. Let's start with what actually happens inside the company after you leave that Zoom call. The recruiter you spoke to isn't working on your role alone. The average corporate recruiter is juggling 20 to 40 open positions at once. You are one name on a very long list. The moment your interview ends, your file goes to the hiring manager for a decision. And that hiring manager has a full-time job that isn't hiring you. So your candidacy stalls, not because you failed, but because someone above you is in back-to-back meetings, waiting on a budget sign-off, or comparing you to a candidate they're seeing next Tuesday. Here's the part that stings: internally, they may love you. But hiring freezes, reorg rumors, and a boss who's out on vacation can freeze your process for weeks with zero explanation. And recruiters are trained to undercommunicate. If they don't have news, most say nothing, because saying "still deciding" feels worse than silence. That's the trap you're falling into. So silence rarely means no. Silence usually means not yet, and nobody remembered to tell you. Now here's why this matters for you. When you go quiet too, you disappear from their memory. Out of sight, out of shortlist. The candidates who get hired aren't always the strongest. They're often the ones who stayed visible without being annoying. That's a skill, and it has a formula. Let me give you the exact follow-up cadence that works. It's not spray and pray. It's timed, spaced, and deliberate. Step 1. Within 24 hours of the interview, send a thank you note. Not generic. Reference one specific thing you discussed and add a sentence of new value you forgot to mention. This isn't manners. It's placement. You're re-entering their inbox while your name is still fresh, and you're giving them a reason to remember you over the next candidate. Step 2. If they gave you a timeline, wait until 2 business days after it passes. If they said next week, you follow up on the 9th day, not the 5th. Why wait the extra 2 days? Because chasing before the deadline reads as desperate. Chasing just after reads as organized and interested. Timing changes the whole meaning of the same message. Step 3. If you got no timeline at all, your follow-up window is 5 to 7 business days. Any sooner and you're needy. Any later and you're forgotten. Now the part everyone gets wrong. Most follow-ups sound like this: "Hi, just checking in, any updates?" That message gives the recruiter nothing to reply to, so they don't. A just checking in message puts the work on them. It asks them to generate news they may not have. So it sits unanswered and you feel ghosted all over again. So here's the one template that flips silence into a callback. Steal it word for word. "Hi Sarah, I really enjoyed our conversation about the growth role, and I've been thinking about the onboarding challenge you mentioned. I actually sketched a quick approach I'd love to share. Is the team still moving on this in the next couple of weeks?" Look at what that message does. It reminds them who you are. It shows you were still thinking about their problem. It offers value. And it ends with an easy yes or no question. That last part is the key. You're not asking for updates. You're asking a simple question they can answer in 5 seconds. Low effort to reply means high odds they actually do. And that offer of value, the sketch, the idea, the resource? It repositions you from anxious applicant to future teammate already solving their problems. That reframe is everything. How many times can you follow up? 3. Spaced out. Thank you note, timeline nudge, then one final graceful message about 2 weeks later. That final message is a soft close, I'm still very interested, but I understand priorities shift. If the timing has changed, I'd appreciate knowing so I can plan. This often unlocks an honest answer. And here's the mindset shift that makes all of this easier. Every follow-up is data. A reply, even a no, frees you to invest your energy in the offers that are actually moving. So stop reading silence as your verdict. It's just an incomplete message. Your job isn't to wait harder. It's to decode it, and reopen the conversation on your terms. The candidates who get the callback aren't lucky. They just refuse to let a busy inbox decide their future. Now you know exactly how to be one of them.